Well, hello, guys, and welcome back to this month's live stream. How are you two guys doing, Tom and Matt?
Good, thanks, mate.
Yeah, not
Good,
too bad,
good.
thanks, buddy. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. What both been up to?
Oh, just roaming, looking at twigs, the usual, really.
Twig cuddling.
Yeah, twig cuddling. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
not too
Matt,
bad.
how about you, mate? Apart from working your socks off.
Yeah, good. Had a good weekend break. Went back to Tuscany again last week. I know we'd only just come back from our workshop there, but I went back to another little area close to there, which was really nice to go to and visit. And yeah, it's great.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm just kind of getting ready to go away for a break, and of course, everybody's ill. So yeah, one of the kids has got scarlet fever. The other one's got tonsillitis by the looks of it. So
Oh no.
great days.
They do it on purpose. So that's
do.
just give them antibiotics, mate.
Yeah.
Just go against nature.
Yeah, just fill them with Calpol. That's the way forward.
Cowpole. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what you want.
it's the cure for everything.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that and whiskey.
yeah. It's frowned upon now, but you know,
yeah.
Hot toddies all around. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I should bring them back. All right.
yeah, I think it's a great thing. Anyway. Before I get into that,
Saw a squirrel.
I said squirrel. This month we've had some fantastic images come in. Really good to see the images come in. There's been quite a lot actually this month, and a lot of really good images. So we've got quite a lot to get through this evening, guys. And Brian Nicholson, evening, guys. Nice to see you all.
Hi,
Well,
Brian.
stay tuned, Brian, because I'm pretty sure you've got one in here tonight. Yeah. So without further ado, we'll get into it.
Oh, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. How's it going?
How you doing?
So this first one here, let me just make this full screen. Why is it not working on there? Are you guys getting that full screen?
No.
We're seeing it through Lightroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. For some reason, it's not expanding. Never mind.
That's okay. I got it on the screen.
Do your what is it? F.
Yeah, that's what
Option
I'm doing.
F?
It's
Option
coming.
F?
It's coming up full on mine, but it's not doing it on there for whatever reason. Weird. That's not happened before. Strange.
No.
However, you can see the image.
Try view. Go up into view up in your library at the top there, mate. Click on view and then go to full screen. There we go. We're doing a Lightroom course now. It's gone from a critique into a Lightroom course.
With all the short keys.
Tom, you want to sing a song while we're waiting, mate?
Oh, I don't think people want to hear that, do they?
No,
it's not doing anything. Not doing anything. No matter what I do, mate. It's not changing on there for whatever reason. Let me try changing the image. No, it's not changing the image either.
Right. It froze.
So chat amongst yourselves while I sharing this screen.
Okay, yeah. So to introduce this month's critique, we're talking about seascapes. So during the last critique, we announced that we're going to talk about seascapes for this month, and it's a subject we haven't brought up before. We've come up with different subjects about everything, about different seasons and what have you. And seascapes is it's a beautiful subject, isn't it? Anyone who has the opportunity to go and shoot near the coast somewhere, anywhere around the world, it's a subject of so much opportunity, isn't it? Because you've got movement of the water, you've got points of interest that you can work off, and you've got the light. Sunrise, sunset, even during the day. There's so much you can do with seascapes, and that's actually, I don't know about you, Tom. I won't ask Paul because he's busy right now, but that's how my photography kind of started out.
Same here.
When I originally got a digital SLR, which was I got it basically for documentational purposes. I wanted to sort of document my story in Europe, and it was more than 20 years ago now, and I started shooting with the camera, but then I started realizing how I was close to nature when I went back home to Australia to visit, and how I missed so much the coast. And that's when I decided to get the camera out and started taking some images of outdoor photography. And I think that's all kind of started. And the passion for the seascapes was an amazing way to train yourself to begin with, isn't it? To learn composition, to play with light, to play with shutter speeds.
Yeah, I think that was mine.
It was a great way to start photography out. I don't think you can find a subject like seascapes in any other part of the environment. Well, maybe rivers and waterfalls and things like that. But, the fact that you've even got that even horizon in the back, you can play with neutral density filters, and there's so much you can do with seascape. So it's a great way to start photography out, isn't it? I think it's, as far as training and getting yourself to a level where you can be comfortable in using a camera and comfortable in training the eye, seascapes are the best, aren't they? Would you agree with that?
I would, yeah. I started out very similar. I was living right by the coast, like 5 minutes from the beach.
Right.
And I was an absolute surfing addict. And I just started thinking to myself, when it was getting ready to go in the sea, generally at sunrise, normally it's my favorite time, because I'm quite a morning person, and it's quite, you get that sort of chilled feeling, don't you? Wherever you are in the world, or whatever genre you're in, if you're somewhere in the morning, you just get that sort of chilled. Even when you're in the city, it's just everything's slower, isn't it? And calm. And then I started thinking, I would love to be able to capture, or just take, kind of like you said, really document, just more so for myself. And sometimes I'd see seals and things, and wouldn't quite getting them on the phone. I wanted to show my partner, and that's where it started for me, really. And as soon as I started taking pictures and messing around with shutter speeds, and it just get hooked pretty quick. But I do think if you got a keen eye and give it the time, I do think you can sort of fast track your photography quite quickly when you go into seascape.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Don't you? Because like you said, there's so much there. Your interest is spread out. It's not like if you go into woods, you could get fed up with it, frustrated with it. Whereas by the sea, there's so much going on. It keeps you interested, and it did for me anyway.
Yeah.
And like it said, the tide goes in and out twice a day. Everything's changing constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant, really. And like you said, the light can be really good. And you've got the reflections as well, and you can play with like in the image we'll be looking at now, the detail just in the foreground. There's images around your feet as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there's kind of in a seascape, if you look hard enough, you can find all the elements in a seascape, can't you? They're all there, everything you need. Especially if you're in the right location, you even get, if you're in New Zealand, you could even get mountains, and a waterfall, and a seascape, and a sunrise, all in the one go. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Best we can do. For some reason, it's not letting Lightroom play ball tonight.
I think that's more than satisfactory, mate. Yeah. Gives us a good view of the image. Sorry, everyone, about the technical issue here. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens with
the joys of technology.
Yeah, the joys of technology. Sometimes you have to check on a daily basis that even today with, living like if you're using Google browser, you got to check daily that your Google browser's up to date, because sometimes it might not work with your streaming network. And anyway, we've got it solved. Nice introduction. Thanks, Tom.
Best we can do. Thanks for filling in, guys.
Let's get straight into it.
So this first one, by Christian Van Twisk. Absolutely beautiful image. I really like the simplicity of this image and the light especially as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on the whole thing? Sleeping Giant, I think it was titled.
Okay.
I think he's referring to that piece of rock in the background there, way off in the distance. Looks like a person lying down.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Oh, geez, it's a
Yeah,
good.
it's fine. We got something like that around by me actually. Look at like the Ice Age is carved, and they're very similar. Like laying down, it looks like, you know.
Right.
Yes, that's called the Sleeping Giant as well. Actually, weirdly. Yeah,
it's interesting how. Sorry to interrupt you, Tom.
That's all right.
It's interesting how that Paul said straight away, "Sleeping Giant" is the title of the image, and bang, he's seen it in the distance straight away. How's that possible that you've seen that? There is a reason behind it.
Well, the reason is for me is because I heard the title of it and I'm thinking, okay, where's the Sleeping Giant? Because I was trying to work it out. I was looking at it. I'm thinking,
it's just a rock, dude. Get over it. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking. I was staring at this rock in the foreground, thinking, yeah, that doesn't really work as a giant.
And
and then I figured it out. I was looking in the wrong place.
Okay, so the way I look at it is that these, well, are they not pebbles? Are they? What would you call them? Small boulders.
Yeah,
they're in their immediate foreground. They're a perfect leading line. Bang, straight out to the back. So your eye naturally goes straight out there.
Yeah,
it doesn't take you long to find it, does it? Which is a good
Yeah.
representation of an image that actually leads you out into the in this case a seascape, out into the seascape.
yeah.
So
I would say as well, the shutter speed is used to soften that midground. Obviously helps that as well, doesn't it? Do you think? Like if it was crisp and crunchy and and sort of froze the power in in the water, you'd still obviously end up down there, but you know what I mean. It's just easier on the midground.
Yeah, it's easier on the eye because I tend to find that if you're freezing water, it tends to look quite jarring and harsh.
Yeah, it would compete more, wouldn't
it?
Yeah. No.
I don't think that is the case here. I think that definitely the foreground, if you actually had the effect of which is a classic example of like seascapes are taken these days. A lot of people like to take the seascapes as the tide drags out. And you do that half to a 1 second exposure of the tide dragging backwards. That as a leading line to drag you out into the back. This of bright highlights is actually more of a distraction.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
To what's going on in the background here. Which is probably the only criticism I have, that maybe the highlights are just pushed a tad too far in that immediate foreground, because it does kind of stop you in your tracks.
Yeah, because you're drawn to it straight away.
It's very, very powerful in the front. Whereas if you had some leading lines working out into it, you would gradually work out into it. But it might not be as effective. It might not be as quite a nice image, but
because I think the light makes this image as well.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I think it kind of both competes with it and it also makes it at the same time.
It's a complex one because we don't have evenly balanced coastlines exactly, do we? I mean, we have the right and the left-hand side, but there's a bit of awkwardness in the shapes of those coastlines out there. So it could be quite a complex image to take. And I'm sure this image would definitely not work if it didn't have those two boulders in the front. Take them away. I don't think you got yourself an image. That's what makes it. It's what makes it, because it gives you immediately gives you depth. You take that away, you lose your depth.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a nice image. It's not it's just nice. It's just soft, sort of warm. It's nice to look at.
Great image to start with.
Yeah, nice job.
Okay, so for next month, I think what we're planning on doing is using this same gallery link that we're using every month now, so that it just works so much better, guys, if you're posting your images to this gallery.
Yep.
Because as you can see, the quality of the image that we get through is far better and it's easier to work with.
Yeah, just keep a link of the gallery somewhere,
Yeah.
and if you want to just put your images up, just throw them in there,
Yeah.
and we'll see them.
And just keep throwing them up all month. So I've been kind of thinking about it today, and I thought about a good one that we haven't really touched on is Stormlight.
Stormlight.
Yeah, so that could be like the light that you get after rain showers moving through, the light you get after snowstorms moving through. That could be rainbows. It could be any of that stuff that's going on with Stormlight.
Getting hit by lightning, ending up with a haircut like Tom.
Lightning. Yeah,
for example.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is.
That's a cracker, that one.
Yeah.
I saw him at the photography show, and I was saying he looks like he's been hit by a lawnmower.
Yeah. I was
Twice.
So yeah, I thought Stormlight would be a cracker to go with. It's just something we haven't touched on, and I just thought it's a nice open subject.
Certainly is.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Especially when you go to Scotland.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking buzzing in a couple
I
of
was going to say, he's been
That's where I
definitely
got the idea from.
Inspired, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you get those images in during the month next month, and we'll start looking at them. Right. So on to the next image then. Now I thought this was interesting because simply for the reason is it was shot on an iPhone. Now that's got nothing to do with the composition or anything. No. I just thought it was it's quite a nice simple shot. And the iPhone didn't do a terrible job of it actually at all.
Not considering what the
not
scene.
Considering what they've got to shoot. The dynamic range they've had to shoot there. It's done a really good job.
Yeah, it's not so much a dynamic range, is it, with the iPhones? It's and I've analysed very, very deeply iPhones, small compact cameras, with tiny little lenses, and what results do we get back from modern day technology, as opposed to a camera with a big beefy lens on the front? You lose those optics. So what you do lose is depth. And if you look at an image like this, your dynamic range is there, your ISO, all that, and capture the colors, whatever. But you'd look at it, there's no depth in it. It's as flat as it.
It is.
I was going to use a saying then, but I can't say it.
No, there's no.
It's flat. It's flat.
It's very one-dimensional, isn't it? It's really
It's just a lack of optics that you don't have in a phone that can't give you dimension that a big lens can. It's physically impossible, So all the people in the world out there can say, "Oh, the iPhones these days take great images." That's good. That's good. They're great for looking on your phone, on Instagram. Great to take pictures at parties and things. But if you're serious about photography and you want to start looking into the details of, anyone who knows anything about anyone who's used a digital SLR, for example, and then goes to an iPhone and puts them up onto Photoshop or Lightroom or what have you, you can immediately tell completely flat images, and there's nothing you can do about that. It's a lack of optics.
I think what tends to happen is they tend to sharpen everything. And they tend to over sharpen everything, so the edges and everything look really prominent, I find.
Yeah, very gritty, don't they?
Yeah.
But as an image anyway, barring the fact that it was shot with an iPhone, that's what are your thoughts on the image?
Go, Tom.
Yeah, you can exactly see what he's trying to do. I like the fact that he's added, you got the seagull up there as well. It's just another element. It's a very obvious leading line.
Yeah.
And the light on the light that's sort of captured here and there, and the rocks that glisten is quite a nice contrast down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of them shots that it's quite an obvious shot.
It's quite busy in the foreground.
It's
isn't
quite
it?
busy. It would have been nice maybe with a bit more water, a bit slightly higher, maybe. Because then rocks are very black, aren't they? You know what it's like when you're at Dunstanburgh, Paul, don't you?
Yeah, low tide, you expose everything too much, and you lose that
Yeah.
simplicity, don't you? That water gives you. Yeah.
It's just a bit busy. But there is water there. I don't know whether maybe you might have been lucky and got you always get that freak wave that comes up a bit higher.
Yeah.
Or maybe go forward a little bit, but then I don't know exactly how he was or what he was stood on, whether that was possible or not. Maybe it would have been. But yeah, I like the idea of it. I do like the idea of it.
Yeah. I think the idea is there and the elements are kind of there.
Yeah. I like I do like the fact that he's thought it would be nice if there was like a bird up there, or it's not just a snap. It doesn't feel like it's just a snapshot, unless he has just been very lucky and got a bird flying through and didn't realize. Yeah, it doesn't feel like just a snapshot. But yeah, that's my thoughts really.
Cool. Right, so I just want to remind everybody for next month what we're going to do is Stormlight. So that could include lightning, it could include snow showers, rain showers, rainbows, all of that sort of stuff. So sort of the light you get after a storm passing through, basically, is what we're looking at. That could be anywhere as well. Could be mountains. It could be, anywhere. It doesn't really matter. It's quite open to interpretation. So if you could get those images in and submit them to the same gallery, we'll put that gallery up online again, a link to it. But if you've already submitted this month, keep hold of that gallery link, and we're just going to keep repeating that.
Just upload through the same gallery, everyone. If you've uploaded before, just stick everything on there.
Cool. And Josh, hey Josh, how are you doing? The iPhone had dealt with the highlights pretty well. Yeah, it did actually. It's not done too bad a job at all.
They do. Yeah. They do a good. It's got very smart technology.
Yeah.
Within an iPhone that can handle even night shots are incredible. What they can do, and you think, wow, how does it do that? It knows, But obviously, these images they're great to look on your phone, aren't they?
Yeah.
You really, and I've tried hard. You really can't take them out of a phone and give them more justice.
Yeah, that's true. I think justice is probably the right way.
We can print them in these small little, Apple, like the iTunes books or whatever they are. They come out okay. Snapshots of family pictures and things. Landscapes with lots of dynamic range, lots of depth of field, where not sharpness, but depth is required. Depth that you get from optics is, But great image. You've captured a moment, haven't you? And you've done well. And the bird sort of takes the distracting elements away, because you're just immediately attracted to the sunset and the bird. And that's nice. I like it.
So while we were mentioning the fact that actually just before we were saying about the rocks, so this next image, if I can get to it, if I've not flicked through half a dozen to get there. So this image here kind of is what we were kind of getting at with the rocks. If you've got water up against those rocks, it kind of simplifies the whole sort of bottom end of your scene a lot more. It takes away, if you smooth that water out and have that water lapping around those rocks, it takes the eye away from that messiness really, and it gives it a softer feel, I think. And this is kind of what this image does here. It doesn't feel quite as busy in the lower section of the image, because there's space to kind of navigate your way through all these rocks.
Yeah.
It reminds me of shots I was taking when I went to Sweden, actually, because the rocks were really similar to these, just rounded rocks, very minimal, not a lot going on. And this is actually shot in Brazil, I think. I seem to remember.
Okay.
What are your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, definitely the simplicity helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you got the high water, you got the longer shutter speed. So it sort of gives it that misty effect throughout it, which simplifies it even more. Maybe if the shutter speed was higher, you would get sort of that cranky, more, the high dynamic color in the water, which might distract it from, not give a good separation between the water and the rock, basically. I would, the horizon's wonky, which is you see that straight away. So it goes down to the left, which is the first thing that I've noticed in there. So a little the basic error in the image. I would probably, in post-production, just darken down that sky slightly, just a little bit. Yeah, just to make it a little tad more evident, to give it a little bit of separation between the horizon.
Yeah.
But very so slightly. So that's sort of more post-production tips. I would like to see the area. It's I'm not a huge fan of horizontal landscapes unless they really, really, really need it. That's my personal taste. So I kind of look at this and I honestly feel like I'm being a little bit suffocated. I'd like to see the image opened up a tad. I would like to see what's going on the right-hand side. I'd like to see a bit of emptiness on the right-hand side to simplify it up a little bit more. But, maybe that wasn't the case. There could have been, I was going to say a naked giraffe, but giraffes are naked, aren't they? So, on the right-hand side. I don't know why I was going to say that. Got Africa in my mind right now. But yeah, it's definitely, it's a good example of how to simplify out a coastal scene, isn't it? So great to see some images where people aren't scared of using long exposures in the right context. Sometimes they're over abused, aren't they? Which is fair enough because you're experimenting a lot of the time and let's see what happens when I open up my camera for 2 seconds. So in this case, I think it's been intelligently done. Yeah. Just got someone who's jumped up. Good evening, chaps. Nice to see you. Nice to see Tom's back again.
He's back. Julian Hall. How you doing, mate? And also
thanks for that, Julian.
George Cormanicki. Good evening, guys. How are you doing, George? Nice to see you,
George.
Here, mate.
Nice to see
you soon, buddy. Yep.
So I really like the fact that they've taken the time to actually, where they have placed themselves, is to give themselves the viewpoint of separating all these stones out, so they're not really overlapping too much. So there is kind of separation there. That's the one aspect I really do like about this.
Yeah. I do kind of I do appreciate the image for what it is. I like the way it's been processed. Like Matt says, the sky and the sea are quite similar. Nice to see, like you said, just to find them, just to bring them edges of them clouds out a little bit more. But I do understand what Matt means with the like, when there's no obvious foreground, is there, for a portrait? You know what I mean, you haven't got the obvious impact in foreground. So me again, I'm a bit like I would have liked to seen it in horizontal, with a bit more space on the right, because obviously that's with a light source as well.
You'd like to see it vertical? Would you like to see it horizontal? Okay, yep.
With more space to the right. Whether that's just the fact the image is making me feel like that, I'm inquisitive to see.
There was a naked giraffe on the right-hand side.
It's because it's got that. It hasn't got that real punchy portrait sort of foreground. So it would have been nice to see it in landscape with a bit of space on the right. But I like the way it's been edited. I like the subtle, cool tones. It hasn't been sucker punched, has it?
Yeah.
Which I like.
Definitely. Beauty, long exposures. Yeah.
Well done. So what I want to remind you all is we're going to go for Stormlight next month. So if you could use the same link as you used this month and upload your images to that link, we're going to keep going with that because the images are so much better and it's easier for us to find and sort through as well. So get those images in all month. Not a problem at all. You can start uploading them after tonight. So next image I thought we'd look at.
Number 2. Good. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I was just about to whisper it to you, but if I whispered it, people would still hear anyway. So.
Yeah, it doesn't work very well on a live stream.
Could do sign language, but we're on YouTube as well, so no.
I really like this. Really like this.
Yeah, it's got everything I would look for, really.
How excited would you be being there? Just going, oh, God, this is good. Yeah, you'd be running around like mad trying to find a composition.
Yeah.
Get stuck into it.
Especially when you get that light coming in from the right, because it's got such a lovely warm glow coming in from that right-hand side.
Yeah. Does anyone know this? Sorry,
is that natural? Is that natural?
I'm trying to work that out. Or whether that's added glow.
I think it's been played on a little bit, maybe, but
yeah, I think it's been added to for sure. But they've done quite a good job on kind of limiting it and not going too far over the top, I would have thought. But you can almost tell because you can see the difference over the beams, can't you? Where the sun's actually hitting the beams, that glows right over the top of them.
Yeah. Like well, let's be honest. Compositionally, it's a great. Where else would you stand? If you wanted to get the entirety in,
a little bit wider.
A bit wider?
Just a tad wider.
Yeah, maybe a little bit further back, eh?
Yeah, a bit
just
more space.
Just to make you understand where this to give it a story, a little bit of a story. And I think sometimes there's a little bit of story you need to just show a little bit more of the scene.
Hello,
I do that sometimes. I'm out on field and I see something. I'm like, God, this is awesome. And I'm in there and I'm taking the subject. And then you get home and you go, what did I do that for? I was so concentrated on that one thing, that apple, and just taking the photo of the apple, and then you just forgot about everything that was around it. There was a whole story around that apple.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was just going to say, a good practice to get into just to avoid that. We all get excited when we're out in field, but a really good practice is not to is to try and slow yourself down a touch and kind of try and cover all bases and take different viewpoints of the same image. Concentrate on the same elements, but just move yourself forward and back and just make sure you take those shots so that you don't feel as though you've messed up when you get back.
And where did that happen, mate?
Oh, it happens all the time. Look, when was
the last time it happened? And it happened to you. It happened to me too.
Probably. It might have been in Abruzzo.
No, it was Tuscany, mate.
Tuscany, was it?
Oh yeah, the first morning. I don't think we didn't. The first morning,
from the spot.
Epic conditions, sunrise, fog, perfect location, everything. And I don't think anyone went wide enough because we were all so focused in. And
the problem is there though. The problem is I found is I tried going wider, but there was too many distractions in the way.
Needed to change spot, mate.
Yeah,
too lazy,
exactly.
Too afraid to lose that moment and get up and move away.
This is the thing. Once you've got those shots in the bag, though, I mean, you should really. But the problem is you get fixated on it, don't you? That's the thing. You get fixated on that moment and the conditions because it's fleeting.
Yeah,
but luckily for us there, it wasn't really fleeting. It lasted a good couple of hours.
Yeah.
So we probably could have all afforded to move around a lot more than we did.
Yep.
But for sure, that's what I would suggest doing. Is just try and take the same image from different viewpoints so that you don't feel as though you've made a mistake when you get back.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see as well with this one because he's obviously cropped it, hasn't he? So I wonder if it was.
Yeah, it's a cropped image by the look of it.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering whether it was shot wider and he's cropped it.
Unless there was a distraction.
Yeah, he's obviously cropped it. So it'd be interesting to see. I wonder why.
There might have been some distracting element, and it
might just like that crop. Yeah, or might just
might just like the crop.
Yeah.
I like definitely the point of view. So the actual position of where he is standing and taking the shot is excellent. because it does give you that gradual leading line through the middle of this old boat and veers you off perfectly over into that glow of light over there. So it's a natural leading line. The reflections in that water there, it starts you off. It pulls you across just perfectly. I think it's positioned very, very, very well. The elements that are around it aren't distracting. They enhance the image. These ripples in the sand, it's makes it really, really pleasant. So I definitely think that his point of view, and where he's taken the image from, spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, definitely.
Josh is just saying lovely composition, but highlights, and I see what he means, because there's the highlights are kind of blowing right on that right hand side, and I do wonder whether that's why the glow's been added to kind of try and pull your eye away from that.
Can we have some feedback on the maybe on the Facebook group about this image? What people think? Who took the photo? If they could tell us, even show us a raw. Be great.
Just check and see if I can find the name of this.
I've got a funny. Someone who said
it's Adam Bilton, and it's the SS Nornan at Brian Beach, Somerset.
Okay, so Adam, if you're listening, could you give us some feedback about this image, about whether that glow was added or not, or maybe even upload to the Facebook group, and just hashtag our names on there so we can see it easily, or if anyone can even hashtag his name on there to highlight the fact that we talked about the image tonight. And get a bit of feedback about it. It'd be interesting to know whether that was added or not. But yeah, definitely, lovely beautiful image. Beautiful location. You've done well, very, very well. I like it. Really, really like it. Love the soft tones, the colors. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I love that cool to warm feel. It's just addictive. It's so addictive, and like you said, Matt, it's such a rush when you're there. Almost like could fit for next month, couldn't it? Does it look a bit stormy up there?
Well, you've got storms coming in. Yeah, that's kind of storm light. It's almost like the light that you get after the storm. Yeah, for sure. Bay says hello, Bay.
G'day, Bay.
Marco says hello as well, and Marco, I've just let you know where that is, mate. So just want to remind you, just as we've been discussing there, next month's theme is going to be Stormlight. If you could upload those images to the same link as this month, we'll also include that link on the Facebook group as well, and on the social channels when we share it there. If you could upload it there, and you've got all month to submit, get those images up, and we'd love to see them.
Yeah, it'd be good. We need some lightning, don't we?
Yeah. Be nice to see some. Right, I'm going to go for something really simple. This image here.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up because of that reason too. Because the simplicity is nice to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah. Minimal images. What are the thoughts? What are your thoughts, Tom? You like minimal seascapes?
Yeah, I do. I feel, for me, it feels a bit tight.
Right.
I feel like it. I just feel like it's a bit tight and a bit. I would like to sit off to one side, and like off of an angle maybe.
Where's it tight, mate? What do you see it tight?
I just feel like it's a bit tight in, a bit central. I don't know. I would like to see off to one side, or it's obviously hard for me to.
So it's the composition, not the tightness.
Yeah. A bit like the with a boat. Maybe I just feel like it's a bit maybe too simple. Maybe I don't know.
Just to go back before we go any further with this one, Adam Bilton said glow was added slightly.
Okay, there you go. Thanks for that, Adam. Appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess is what you're getting at. You'd like to see more of that that groin that's heading out there, Tom,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
rather than the last two pieces of wood.
Yeah.
That's where you're referring to being tightness. You're talking about the actual foreground being cut.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But it's just maybe just a personal preference, you know. But yeah, I don't know what do you think?
Yeah, tightness probably isn't the right word I would use. I would say that it's got good balance. You know, there's nothing wrong with it being centered at all.
No, so it's a personal thing.
If it was off to the left or off to the right, it was in the middle, I don't think it really make that much of a difference. If you probably put it off to the left or off to the right, there would be a reason behind it because you probably wanted to shift people's interest off to the other side. In this case, there's nothing. It's clean on both sides. So by keeping it center, you're just going straight through. If you had it on the right or had it on the left, there would be a reason to sort of to make someone move across to the other side. And in this case, it wouldn't. I think it would probably make the image worse. But I mean, then again, we'd have to see it to bring it up. That's the first thought that would come into my head immediately. When I first originally saw this image, I thought it'd be a good example because it is simplicity. And simplicity, although people think, oh, simplicity is easy or simple, simplicity is actually the hardest thing to do.
Yeah,
it's like the Italians say. The hardest, one of the hardest dishes in Italy is to make is spaghetti and cheese, pecorino cheese, right? That's the hardest dish to make in Italy because it's got two ingredients. You bugger up the quantities, you've stuffed the plate, right?
Yeah.
So here, using this as an example, sorry to veer off there, but I'm trying to make you understand that with simplicity, it's more complex than what you think. You bugger up simplicity, it's not going to go anywhere. I think that I would probably, what do you call them? A girt, aren't they? Girt?
Groin.
Sorry, a groin. So a groin, which is basically, these wooden artificial walls to basically shift the tide off into a certain direction on a coastal beach. I think it's probably been, slightly cropped from the foreground a little bit too much. That might be because there's an element underneath there that's quite distracting. There I'm speaking Japanese again, quite distracting. But at the same time, you've got this big long post. What do you call it? With a
I don't know what you would call that.
No, I've got no idea. You can't
it's
call
obviously a marker, isn't it?
Definitely not a traffic light. That it's it is prominent and it does go up beyond the first middle half of the scene. So it works. It works. It's you probably wouldn't want to see a little bit more foreground, but
it works.
This is the case if someone says, well, if I did it, then underneath there you would have seen beer cans on the ground, so I had to cut it. And your answer could be, well, if that was the case, don't take the photo. But it's nice. Yeah, it's definitely. I know what you're saying.
Works. It still works. There's nothing offensive about it. It's not
offensive about it.
No, it still works as a simple image. I think.
I like it's blown. It's blown out. I like blown out scenes. I never did. I'm only starting to appreciate blown out scenes now, especially when you've got very contrasty subjects where you can blow everything else out. Works quite well, especially in black and white. So
yeah.
Good on you from that point of view.
Yeah, it's exposed well and edited in a way that it works. Just feels a bit close. Yeah, it's a personal thing probably.
Right, so just want to remind everybody again, Stormlight's going to be next month's theme. So that could be, rainbows, lightning, storms, thunderclouds, all of that stuff going on. If you could upload your images to the official Outdoor Guide Facebook group, but we're going to leave a link this time, so you're not actually uploading it to the Facebook group like you always used to. We've got a link.
And still are sometimes.
Yeah.
So we've actually got a link to a gallery which you can actually submit your photos to now, and it's so much better quality. So please use that link.
Yes.
Right. On to the next one. I wanted to bring this one up because honestly, this has got so much going on that I really, really like.
You wanted to bring it up because it's so damn good.
Well, it is, and also the fact that they've used a shutter speed that works really, really well for water as well.
Oh yeah.
I love that sort of texture and detail that's left in water.
What's that?
Like
One fifth of a second, mate. You reckon?
Yeah, it could be anywhere, something like that. Anywhere around there.
It's got a bit of that swishy, swirly effect in it, I reckon.
Yeah, I love all that.
Fast moving, stormy.
Yeah,
1/5 of a second.
Again, this could be a candidate for next month because this has got stormlight going on as well. So but yeah, it's got so much. It kind of parts of it almost look like a painting. If you get what I mean, like the background there, it's got that feeling of almost being like a painting, and that water, and the fact that the other thing I like as well. I'm jumping around all over the place here, but these rocks leading in from the left and leading you out as a leading line out to Bow Fiddle Rock itself.
Spot on.
Yeah.
And the light just catching the top of that rock outcrop out there. And then on top of that, you've got the seagulls. It almost reminds me of Tuscany, where we had all that fog and all that light, and then all of a sudden we had a starling murmuration. And
and you think no one's going to believe that I'm taking these shots. They're all going to tell you that they're all been, modified.
Yeah.
It's all AI.
Brian Nicholson. So this is Brian Nicholson's image, and he said it was a 3-minute exposure at night time. Oh, wow.
Hang on.
You mean the one before?
Hang on. Well, something's going on here. That's definitely not a 3-minute exposure.
No, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
so that must have been the previous image, Brian, eh? Yeah. Katie's saying, the one before.
Yeah.
I was going to say it looks nothing like 3 minutes.
It's 3-minute exposure. Jeez. It's just, I just said, I can't know nothing about photography anymore.
Give up.
It's time to start back in the beginning.
Yeah. Thought, 3-minute exposure. Those seagulls are doing well not to.
They're good at standing still in the wind, aren't they?
Yeah, but this image has just got so much.
It's amazing how that poo coming out of his bottom so static, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just absolutely awesome. I love this. I absolutely love this shot. In fact, you guys talk about it. I'm going to find out about who it was.
Okay.
It's Jeffrey Daniels. And
Jeffrey Daniels.
Yeah, Jeffrey Daniels, and it's Bow Fiddle Rock at sunrise.
Yeah.
Jeff.
It's kind of like what we're saying. The first shot. Was it the first shot? It was, wasn't it? Where the water was softened because they didn't want it to be distracting. Whereas this is the opposite. He's, like you said, Paul. He's really made a point of trying to create the energy, isn't he?
Yeah, motion.
Motion.
Good word, energy.
Yeah, energy. Yeah, it's because it's all about that. There's a lot of mid ground, isn't there? So it's got to be interesting, which obviously is by capturing like that motion energy. Yeah. The little hints of white water as well help, don't they?
They do, and the good fact is that they're not blown and all details haven't been lost.
Yeah,
which is hard in water. It's not easy to stop those little pockets of water going bright white and losing all detail.
Definitely, yeah, because you've from one end to the other side, the white can be so much more intense, can't it?
Yeah.
So where you might be one perfect over to the right, it's blown out on the left. So it's not an easy thing to do, and I would love to know how many shots that we've taken. Probably it's one of them ones where you'd be there for how long? Half an hour while the light was fairly good, and how many images you take, and then you get all that excitement.
Sunrise, so it wouldn't have been there too long.
No,
but it's one of those cases where he's probably taken the image in its best light and then just sat there, just said, "Look, we'll just hang out for a few more minutes and see what happens." And then all of a sudden, the birds are coming, bang, taking the shot.
Yeah. It's very well thought out.
Yeah, it is actually. It's really, I like the placement of everything in this image.
Yeah, the light's nice and subtle. The blacks are not too grungy. But at the same time, there's still plenty of contrast. It's got light. It's got the element of the seagulls.
Yeah,
And the highlights are not blown, and you've got great texture and like Matt said, like energy in that water, which just matches the sort of gnarliness of the rocks, doesn't it? The water and the rocks sort of match
yeah.
in the same intensity, I think.
Yeah, you see a lot. Sorry, mate.
No, you go.
I was just going to
keep
say, you see
looking at it.
a lot of this image online, of this location online, and
Yeah.
a lot of them are basically out at low tide.
Yeah.
Right.
And I actually prefer this.
Yeah.
Prefer this.
A lot of them are portrait as well, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot of them are, and I prefer this because it's got more energy about it, I think.
Yeah. Kind of like what Matt says. Sorry, mate.
No, go, mate. I'll just keep looking at the image.
I was just going to say, it's kind of like the Matt point. The point Matt made earlier about the image with the boat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, and the long exposure one, where he wanted to see more of the right hand side.
Yeah.
This is a good example of what can be done by including a bit more.
Yeah.
As opposed to thinking, I don't like the darkness on either side. I'm going to just, go straight down the middle.
Yeah. But he's balanced it. He's balanced it with the left and right, using the rocks on the left and right as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice job.
So why I'm enjoying looking at this image, because I'm pretending it's mine. Wait, and then I'm going to tell you what I would have liked if it was mine, because I really like this image. And when I critique my own images, I look at them for a long time. I put the headphones on, I listen to a bit of music, and I sit there and I analyze and I pick piece for piece out of an image, but I have to love that image. If it's an okay image and I'm not staring at it for more than 30 seconds, well, it's just not worth it. So an image for me like this is outstanding. And if it was my outstanding image, these are the things that I would have done, okay, to improve it even more, to make it from outstanding to top of the class, master level, okay? The foreground, immediate foreground, it's slightly cut off.
Yeah.
The left-hand side where those rocks are, you should have a little tad more of those pebbles just at the bottom there. It's just been slightly cropped off. Very, very slightly. Okay, now I'm saying this is a critical because I'm being critical. I'm making this image from the level that it's already at to that level that you can't go beyond. And so this isn't being harsh. This is how I would treat it if it was mine.
Yeah.
So if I was there, I would have been more critical maybe in the composition, just to add that little bit more, or as you would say, Paul, go that little bit wider. You can always crop later on. Number one. Number two, for those of you on the outdoor photography have seen my my tutorials about post-production, when I talk about contrast depth, you guys know what that's about. And a lot of people, know what it's about. So contrast depth here. If you don't know what it's about, go on the outdoor photography guide. You see my tutorial on it. I think to make this image even more powerful, to give it more depth, the rocks, which is the main subject in the image, the fiddler's rocks, is that what they're called, mate?
Bow fiddle rock.
Bow fiddle rock. To drop the contrast on them a tad, okay?
Yeah.
With respect to the foreground, it's too much of the same thing, and they're further away. The further away things are from us, we lose detail, so we lose contrast. Yeah. So to just drop that off a little bit more would have really, really made it something extra special. Number three, and this is about adding something to the scene that's not there, that I would do because it's not obvious, is to add a bit of the glow on the right-hand side at the top. there, just to add a very, very subtle amount of dehaze or something in it, so subtle that you could hardly even tell, but it would just make it would give the sense of that light that you can actually see in the right-hand side there, can't you?
Yeah. You can just
that
top corner.
glow hasn't been captured in this scene. You need to just give it just that subtle little bit of glow to it to give it something extra.
Yeah,
But be
maybe
just
more.
very, very, very sweet and subtle about it. For me, if you added those three things to it, for me, that's a perfect. We don't say perfect because it's not the right word to use with art, but it would just make it. It would just put the gold frame around it straight up on the wall.
Yeah. So Jeff Daniels is saying it's a 3-shot composition. I lost track on how many I took.
Right.
And he also says the foreground was so messy. Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously he's just had to kind of chop it off there to get rid of the distraction in the bottom.
Yeah, look, for me, I'm talking about a centimetre foreground. You know, just a very, very slight amount. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Lovely
Great
Bob,
work,
though,
mate.
mate.
Lovely. Yeah.
Lovely
Well done.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that image, mate. Lovely.
Yeah.
We've got time for one more. Huh? We can fit in one more, mate.
Yeah, we'll squeeze one more in. So I just want to remind you before we go to this next image is next month we're going to do Stormlight. So if you can upload those images to the link that we provide, and then we're going to start looking through them. So you've got a month to get them all in, and get them up there. I picked this one again as well because you were talking earlier on about the lines as you the patterns in the sand that you get if you freeze the motion of the water and it leads you out somewhere. This has got a bit of that going on in the foreground. It's also got it's kind of a soft sort of feel about it at the same time. So I do wonder whether it's a blend of a couple of shutter speeds. But I really like this as well. I love the shape of that rock. It's just it's not something you normally see.
No, it's quite a famous rock, isn't it? It's called is it Daimler? I've seen Neil Burnell shoot this before. Loads of people have shot this. Yeah,
I've never seen it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've never really noticed it.
Yeah.
So it's in the UK.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, unless I've got my wires completely crossed. But
I don't know why I did that.
yeah, it's again, I've seen this a lot tighter and in portrait.
Oh. So let me just check what it says. It's Amir Cove.
Yeah, Amir Cove, yeah. Oh yeah. That's in Devon.
Martin.
Yeah, it's like I said, I've seen it this shot for more head on in portrait. So it's nice to see something shot at 45, and again following the theme tonight, really, isn't it? It's having a bit more of a field of view.
Again, though, it's got that element of nice light appearing on the subject.
Yeah,
as well,
I like the way it's been it's very well exposed, eh?
So top left, it's the sun's coming in, and then it's hitting that rock nicely on the right side of it there.
Yeah, it's very it's like very subtle, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not made a big deal of the light on there, but
it's not very sort of contrasty, is it? Like
no.
Do you where do you end up? Where did your eye go? I'm your eye gets sort of split, doesn't it? My eye gets led in and straight off to the left. I don't tend to look so much down off to the top right so much.
Of the
image. Them streaks are off to the left, and then the light on the rock's lovely, and then my eye sort of drifts around the left hand side quite a lot.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's pulling your attention away to the left.
It doesn't. It's not. Yeah, it's just my personal sort of. But I like the subtle feel of the image. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, no, I agree with what Tom was saying there. Definitely the streaks of the tide pulling out. It does have a diagonal direction of shifting across to the left-hand side, which pulls your eye to the left. And we've got this dominant rock, which is pulling you to the right. So we're actually not going in any direction. So it's very distracting. Yeah.
It's almost like a V. This image, isn't it? It's almost.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you were here, if it was me, for example, if I was here with my tripod right now and I had this frame on my camera, the first thing I would do would be shift my whole entire tripod to the right-hand side and then pan off to the left. And get those streaks with that rock looking that direction, not that direction. That direction's taking me nowhere, not with that water movement. And there's nothing you can do to change that. So if you want that rock in that scene at that time of day, then you would have to completely shift. Yeah, definitely. So I agree with that. Yep. I don't know why it's quite so soft. Compression issue or something. It does give me a feeling it's like a unprocessed raw file, or I don't know. It does miss just a little bit of bite. I don't like punchy images. I like subtle images,
I know what you mean.
but it does miss a little bit of bite to it. But a great location for sure, and good on you for.
Looks lovely.
It does. Yeah.
Looks like a lovely location. Definitely, it's just great job. So I'm just going to last you to remind you.
There you go. Speaking Japanese
another
again.
one there. Another Jap.
Next month we're going to do Stormlight. So that could be, clouds coming in. It could be thunder showers, all of that jazz going on, rainbows, snowstorms. It's really open to interpretation.
Avalanches.
So get your images in using that same link as we used this month. Does so much more better. It does such a better job of the images. We get to see them in better detail, and it's we're not trying to struggle to see what's going on. So get those images submitted, and we really look forward to seeing them. So thanks everybody for submitting the images. This month have been absolutely fantastic. Hopefully we're going to get the same amount again next month, and look forward to seeing them. Thanks very much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.